Mornings, Rich from the motorcycle garage. I'm just taking it apart, having a look at overhauling if necessary, but unnecessary because it's tip top. The oil pump for the Ducati 999 or 999S. So yeah, basically we've got the two pieces that obviously sit against each other like that. And we've got the retaining screws, cap head. They're tight, obviously tighten out to the appropriate torque setting, which in Newton meters, I think it's 10 Newton meters, but please check the manual. And then basically you have the first gear. These are the gears that actually work together, and they push the oil through. Oops, sorry. Goes like that. Hopefully. Okay, so the spindle goes through there. So you can see there that this turns obviously from the sprocket, from the gear of the engine, turning continually, moving the oil through, pushing it up into from the sump, obviously, or wherever it comes from, the deep sump, and gets pushed up through to the top of both the cylinders, and then through various oil canals, etc., and then drops down into the running gear, the valves, etc., and the camshaft, and then runs down and gets pushed out also at the base through the main shaft, crankshaft, through the various holes, keeping all the bearings running smoothly under quite a bit of pressure. So that runs continually. Now if there's a block or there's a mega problem, there is a pressure relief valve just here, and that is there. You undo it at the top there if you need to. I'm not going to, there's no reason. It won't work, it's very simplistic. It's just got a strong spring on there, and if the oil, I'm not sure exactly which way around, but anyway, one way around, it looks like there's oil pressure there, and if it goes too much, it pushes the spring up, then releases the oil back into the inward, as it were, inward canal. So you don't get overpressure in the engine. So that is a oil pressure relief valve. So anyway, all goes together with one hand, which is difficult. I just want to show you the basics of how it works. Right, so we've got that, and then we have, just to show you here, I did have a torch set up there. Yeah. So you can see the lines there. The first line is for a circlip. That circlip. So that's the first one that goes there. Then the sprocket goes on. Then there's a grub, grub thing. I don't know what you want to call it, a grub screw or something, that sits in. I'll put it there, and you can see it. Yeah, that little grub screw, just there, sits in that gap, and then it sits in the slot, which is lined up there. There, once you line it up, it's difficult to try and do these. I should be able to do it with one hand, honestly. But don't lose the grub screw. Not grub screw, the grub bit, or whatever they call it. The little bit there, anyway. That sits in. Oops. That sits in. Keep dropping it. Anyway, it sits in. It sits in there. You put it down, pop it in there. I have found it again. There it is. There it is, the little grub bit. That sits in there. It makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, so you've got that. and that fixes the sprocket once that's in there, stops it spinning around freely on the shaft. So then you've got, as I say, you've then got circlip, and once you've done that, hold on a second, it's falling down at the moment obviously because there's a circlip first which keeps it at the right height, but anyway, then after that, once you've done that, I think the battery's running out. Once you've done that, you've then got a C-clip which holds this, and the C-clip is just a little bit. That's the C-clip. C-clip is that one. There's the C-clip. That actually holds the pulley. Holds the pulley on. It sits in there. And then after that, you've then got the retainer sort of there. You see the recess there? Well, that sits on there, sitting on top of the C-clip on the shaft there. And then